Hello students, once again I welcome you all, and in this class I am going to start with a new topic. Today I would like to talk on Girish Karnad as a playwright, and in the course of time you will learn Girish Karnad's classic play Tughlaq. So friends, first of all I would like to talk on Girish Karnad as, of course, as a human being, as an individual. Then I will highlight some of the important stages of the life of Girish Karnad. Subsequently, I will speak on the plays that he has written, and later I will provide you the details of Tughlaq, which is a play prescribed by our university to your syllabus. Friends, Girish Karnad was born on 19th of May 1938 and he passed away on 10th of June 2019. So he got a sprawling life, I would say, and he has really created a history in the course of his lifetime. So maybe for another 10-15 minutes or so, you will come to know about the life and works of Girish Karnad. Girish Karnad was an actor, film director, Kannada writer. Later on, he tried his hand in English also. He was a playwright. Playwright means a dramatist who writes plays on different topics, different themes. And as far as Girish Karnad was concerned, he wrote in Kannada first, and later he translated his own works in English language also. Girish Karnad was a Rhodes Scholar who prominently worked in South Indian cinema and Bollywood movies also. I'm not sure whether you could recognize him as an individual in Hindi cinema, but those who have seen the photograph of Girish Karnad, they can immediately recognize him, that he has played so many major and minor roles in Kannada movies and Hindi movies also. Of course, as a playwright, as a dramatist, he has created a history. And in the 1960s, which is marked the coming age of modern Indian playwriting in Kannada. So the contributions by Girish Karnad have, of course, gave a different turn to the writings of plays in Kannada. When you compare this personality, this dramatist, with the other literary figures, those who immensely and effectively contributed in other regional languages in Indian writing in English, you will find that you have Badal Sarkar, who did in Bengali language. You have Vijay Tendulkar, who wrote in Marathi language. And you have Mohan Rakesh, who immensely contributed in Hindi language. These are the three figures with whom you can compare the contributions of Girish Karnad as a playwright. As a matter of fact, as I said earlier also, he has created a history. He laid a milestone as far as writing dramas is concerned. First, he wrote in Kannada, but later he started translating his own works in English also. And when he did it, like Rabindranath Tagore, he got international recognition in a very short period of time. As I said, we are going to learn Tughlaq, which is a play written by Girish Karnad, and that is considered to be one of the classics in Indian writing in English. So in general, I would like to talk something more about Girish Karnad also. As I said, he was born in 19th of May 1938, and his birthplace is located in Maharashtra. I hope you might have heard some of the very identified hill stations in Maharashtra, that is Mahabaleshwar and Matheran. And Girish Karnad was born in Matheran, which is located in the state of Maharashtra. His mother, Krishnabai Mankikar, was a young widow with a son who belonged to a poor family. If you really look into the family of Girish Karnad, you will find that he has been a struggler for most of the time of his life. Even his own mother, Krishnabai Mankikar, struggled a lot. She lost her husband quite early and left the responsibility of a son, that is Girish, upon Krishnabai. And afterwards, this Krishnabai Mankikar looked after Girish Karnad, and she provided all possible comfort and good education to Girish so that he could really brought up well. Since it was necessary for her to earn a living, she began working as a nurse and even cook as a general housekeeper for the bedridden wife of a certain doctor whose name was Raghunath Karnad, a doctor in the Bombay Medical Services. Now you can make out how this Krishnabai Mankikar, who was a young widow, she started working because there was no other go for her. Until and unless she could earn something, she could not even look after her own self and her only son, that is Girish. So she started working as a nurse, and in addition, besides that, she was also working as a cook, as a general housekeeper for the bedridden wife of Dr. Raghunath Karnad. So now you might have understood. Probably Dr. Raghunath Karnad might have taken up the responsibility of bringing up Girish Karnad. He might have provided educational facilities and other facilities as well. And probably that's why he also carried with the same surname, that is Karnad, after his own name, instead of following the Mankikar as a surname. So this is how is the general information that you could retrieve from different sources available in the secondary material and the internet sources as well. So friends, this man, that is Girish Karnad, constantly and continuously started writing from the quite early age. At the age of 22, I think at the age of 22, he realized that he should really be a literary figure in India. Actually, Girish Karnad wanted to be a poet. But shall I tell you the fact? Later he realized that, maybe at the age of 22 or so, he realized that he is not having the literary sensibility, especially the poetic sensibility for writing poetry. But he could really and effectively try his hand for writing plays. And at the age of 22, he realized it and started contributing to the world of literature. As I said, he got his schooling. Afterwards, he got so many achievements also. As I said, he got Rhodes Scholarship. He went to Oxford University from 1960 to 1963, almost for 3 to 4 years or so. Girish Karnad was in Oxford University as a Rhodes Scholar. Subsequently, he also got a fellowship, Bhabha Fellowship, from 1970 to 1972. So again, these 3 years or so, he was working as a fellow called Bhabha Fellow. And later on, he was invited as a visiting professor and a resident scholar in the Chicago University, USA, that is United States of America. So his life and career as such is itself is a kind of lesson for all of us, because you can definitely get certain impressions and you can also get some sort of inspiration from his early struggling life. Then he's coming to a formative stage and creating his own identity as a literary figure, as a playwright in India. So that is something really very, very interesting. When we talk about Girish Karnad's literary contributions, so in all total, he has written only 6 plays. So that is his literary contribution. But mind it well, whatever plays that he has written, they have created a history in the field of English literature, more particularly Indians writing in English. And 3 of them I would like to quote here: Yayati, Hayavadana, and Tughlaq. These 3 are considered to be the masterpieces of Girish Karnad as a dramatist belonging to the Indian soil and constantly contributing first in Kannada language, and later he himself translated these plays into English and once parachuted him to the first rank of Indo-Anglican dramatists also. So now you can make out the kind of flight that he had from nothing to everything. Because mother was working as a nurse, even as a sometimes housekeeper, at a doctor. And at this struggling stage, probably he might have realized that there is no other go for him than proving his own talent. And that's why Girish constantly worked hard, proved his competence, and established himself as a literary figure. But throughout his lifetime, he always took it very hard that he could not be a poet. Actually, he wanted to be a poet. I quote Girish Karnad, I wanted to be a poet, the greatest ambition in my life. At the age of 22, I realized I would not be a poet, but only a playwright. Then I almost wept. When I was at 20, I got a scholarship to go abroad. It was a very tense moment because I came from a traditional family. I was the first member of the family to go abroad, and then the present generation won't understand it. And I'm sure many of you who have been through it will also not understand how difficult it was to come from a traditional family and go abroad, because although everyone was thrilled that I was going to England, it involved lots of decisions. Will one come back? Will one stay abroad? Will he get married to a foreign woman? And other problems like that. So probably from this quote, that of Girish Karnad, you might have understood the pulse of his own life. Because he belonged to a traditional and orthodox Maharashtrian family. Then again, having so many financial issues, but anyhow, he was trying to settle down. But because of his own competence and a very serious study, he got an opportunity to go abroad. But before leaving the country, before leaving the motherland, there were again so many domestic issues to be discussed, because it was not that easy for an Indian, that too orthodox traditional Indian, to go abroad and live or work there and come back, because so many other issues were also associated with the same. And probably Girish Karnad also went through such kind of experiences, and that's why he has said so, as I read out his own quotation in this respect. So as I said, friends, he wrote 6 plays, but the most important and the masterpieces of these 6 are Yayati, Hayavadana, and Tughlaq. And one of the masterpieces we are going to learn in this semester, that is titled as Tughlaq. Actually, this Tughlaq is a play based on the life of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, who was an emperor and controlling all political affairs from Delhi. And our play, that is Tughlaq, is leading to the and dealing to the life of Muhammad bin Tughlaq as a king, and his decision of shifting his capital city from Delhi to Daulatabad and back home. So this is how is the general introduction of Girish Karnad. But before I conclude the general introduction of Girish Karnad, I would like to talk on the awards and recognitions that he got for his contribution to social life and more particularly the world of literature. Friends, Girish Karnad was conferred Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan by Government of India. As you know, he was an actor, a film director, and he was associated with Kannada movies and Hindi movies both. So he also won 4 Filmfare Awards, of which 3 are Filmfare Award for Best Director, Kannada. And the fourth award, that is Filmfare Award, was for the Best Screenplay Award. So in all total, he got 4 Filmfare Awards in his lifetime. As far as literary identity is concerned, or the identity as a literary figure is concerned, his contributions of all these 6 plays was also considered by the management of Gyanpith Award, that is the highest literary honor conferred in India. And of course, Girish Karnad was a recipient of Gyanpith Award in 1998. Those who watch television, more particularly Doordarshan DD1, so probably you might have watched a program called Turning Point, which was a dedicated science-oriented program, and Girish Karnad worked as a presenter for a weekly science magazine program called Turning Point, and that was telecasted from 1991, and later on it continued for years together on Doordarshan, that is DD1. So these are some of the very highlighted, aspects of the life of Girish Karnad. So now I will talk in brief, because we have a very short period of time, and whatever possible in the leftover time, I would like to talk on the present play, that is Tughlaq. But before I start with Tughlaq, you need to understand the literary movement which was going on in Karnataka and in Maharashtra also. As you know, Girish Karnad was born in Maharashtra, that is Matheran. Later, he was living in Mumbai for some time, along with the mother, the widow mother. And later, he got associated with Karnataka, and he also came across a kind of a tradition called Natak Mandali, or Natak Company, or Company Natak, whatever you call. The meaning remains the same. So here, if you see that the literary movements which were going on in Karnataka and in Maharashtra, they have created lot of influence on the mind of Girish Karnad. So probably you might have heard there was a concept like touring Natak Mandali, or a touring Natak company, or somewhere it is also written like touring company Natak. However you take it, again the meaning remains the same. What do you mean by that? It means that there is a group of people, actors, actresses, or producers, or directors, and so on, those who are interested in staging the plays by visiting villages, towns, and cities, whichever possible to them. And that's why it is called a touring. Touring means they always undertake a journey from one place to the another. And whatever setup, whatever stage, whatever, everything that they belong to or necessary for staging a play, they carry with them, and again they shift from one place to the other. That's why such kind of natak mandalis are called touring, because they keep moving from one place to the other like a vagabond. Second, it is company natak. Company means the group of people coming together, forming a mandal, forming a group. That's why it is called company. Or else somebody is there who is the manager, who runs that company as a business establishment and tries to organize different shows in different places wherever possible to them. And that's why it is called a company. And natak. Natak means a play, a drama. And these, people, those who are working for a company, coming together with a similar interest, and when they contribute, when they present, when they stage their plays on the stage in different villages, towns, and cities, a number of people as the audience come over there. Today we have got different means of entertainment. But that was the time, 50s, 60s and all, last century, 20th century. The people did not have any means of entertainment because there was no radio and that was not accessible to every common man. Television was also not accessible to the people of India in the 60s, 50s and 60s, since that was the recent innovation or technical development or technological invention, I would say. So such kind of natak mandalis, they used to come to different villages, places, and they used to stage their plays. And the people, of course, go as a matter of entertainment for them. So Girish Karnad took that kind of inspiration from such kind of developments in Maharashtra and subsequently in Karnataka as well. And probably he continued that tradition in his, he kept it in mind and tried to present his own plays. Actually, his play Yayati, the first one, that is Hayavadana and Tughlaq, all these three plays are totally different as far as their thematic concerns are. So you cannot simply compare and contrast one play from the other. But in the technical point of view, when it comes to the kind of staging, presenting the scenes, or talking about the scenes to be presented on the front of the stage or the back of the stage, the combination as it was needed, because now we are living in the highly sophisticated, digital, technologically advanced world. But that was the time when the natak companies struggled a lot for so many issues, so many aspects, so many things. And of course, these things were also kept in mind by Girish Karnad. So whenever we talk about these natak companies or company nataks, so probably you might have seen or you might have observed two kinds of scenes are created by the author very intentionally. One, the deep scenes, and other, the shallow scenes. As far as the shallow scenes are concerned and the deep scenes were concerned, they were having their own objectives to meet. Okay. While the shallow scene was on, the preparation for the deep scene will be continued in the background. Okay. So while the set is being prepared for the another scene, if the deep scene is going on, shallow scene preparation is continued. When the shallow scene is going on, deep scene preparation is being done. So this way, this was a nice combination which was managed by the company nataks, and these things are also kept in mind by Girish Karnad. Similarly, he has also used another technique of introducing comic events or comic scenes in between in order to give the preparation possibility for the stage directors and all. And this is all very effectively managed and done by Girish Karnad in his plays. So friends, we are going to learn a play written by Girish Karnad. That was his second contribution. It was first staged and published in 1962. Originally, this play was written by Girish Karnad in Kannada. But later on, he himself translated it, and after the translated version of English was published, and later it was staged also. So he got a grand success for this kind of contribution. So once catapulted him to name and fame in a short period of time, and then onwards he was treated as the first rank Indo-Anglican dramatist. I think this is something very remarkable in the life of Girish Karnad. And so far this play is concerned, your Tughlaq is concerned. Tughlaq was the most extraordinary character to come on the throne of Delhi. Of course, you need to turn the pages of history to know more about him. In religion, philosophy, even in calligraphy, the battle war field, anything we talk about Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he seems to have outshone anyone who came before him and even after him. But one more thing I would like to tell you also about Muhammad bin Tughlaq. He is also labeled as Mad Tughlaq, because whenever his court was on, all the courtiers are seriously involved in the state affairs, and he, that is the king or the emperor, used to sit in his throne. Sometimes literally he used to sleep on the throne. And then onwards, probably even you can find this fact in the pages of the history, that he was labeled as a Mad Tughlaq or Mad Tughlaq only. So these are a few things about Tughlaq, but a detailed introduction to Muhammad bin Tughlaq as a historical figure and Tughlaq as a play written by Girish Karnad. So I think I will do it in the next period.